I did see the All-22, and these are some of my thoughts about the guys that thought that played pretty well in this football game. I know I teased about a particular player that played pretty well against Aaron Donald. That would be Connor McGovern. Played pretty well. Matter of fact, of the offensive linemen that got opportunities to block Aaron Donald, Connor McGovern was better than Zach Martin and also better than Tyler Smith in this football game. And I don't know what it is about some guy like a Connor McGovern that can block an Aaron Donald who plays with the quickness that he does, but maybe it's the mauler brawler style that McGovern has. He maybe not coming off the ball and just firing off and trying to get in. He kind of slow plays Aaron Donald a little bit, lets Aaron Donald make a move, and then he gets into him and is able to kind of control him a little bit. And so, that was something you always worry about when they move Aaron Donald around. And the thing about it is they just don't want to put him on one side, because I was talking to some people about it after the game, with the Cowboys, about just running away. He's like, hey, if you want to put him all the way on the outside, you want to play him at defensive end, we'll just run away from him. But they were really, really happy they said, hey, I think that Connor McGovern had a really good game. And then I went back and watched the All-22. They're absolutely right.
Well, on that Pollard play, it looked like he did a great job of cutting Donald off.
He did.
I mean, maybe got away with a little holding, but so be it. It's Aaron Donald, man. It was a great block.
That's knowing your officials right there. Those guys, Bill Vinovich, that crew, they're going to let you play. So if you can get away with holding, get away with holding. Hendershot got called for a holding on a play, on a third down play. That would have been a first down.
Took away a 9-yard run on a third and one.
Third and one. But your hand is outside. They're going to call that on the outside.
So what's your big picture takeaway on McGovern? Is he finally figuring it out in year 4?
It was bad last week, and I think a little bit with I think that had to do with the power that he had to play with against those two guys with the Commanders. The quick guy did seem not give as much problem as the power did. And you think, like I said, I think that the fact that McGovern plays not as quick off the ball, that helps him, because Donald's going to make a move, and then if you haven't fully just fired off the ball, you'd be in bad position stuff. But I was pretty impressed by the way.
How about the Zach Martin part of it?
Zach Martin wasn't very good against him. Matter of fact, the first 6-7 plays of the game, Zach Martin was going against him, and Aaron Donald got him a couple of different times. So and it was kind of like that. You could see that that Zach was getting a little frustrated by it. By the way but they started the game with Aaron Donald over Zach Martin, and matter of fact, he was free like 3-4 plays there of the snaps that he took against Zach Martin there. So that happens every once in a while. You get a guy you think can't block somebody, and now all of a sudden he blocks him, and then the other guy who's a Hall of Fame type of a player has a little bit of a struggle. Yeah. The film showed that Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard were ready to run the football. They had to in this football game because they just couldn't get anything going really passing wise. But I think Elliott and Pollard both, they took advantage. We talked about it last week when we broke down the Rams. Run the ball at the Rams. What did they do? Run the ball at the Rams. I think that's the reason why they had success. I think you have to take it at their defensive line. I think the offensive line in the running game did a really nice job. But Elliott and Pollard both, when there were holes, they hit them. They got there. They got to and through holes. And there were the physical runs they had to make. I love the creativity they have on 3rd and 1 when they put them both in the backfield and they hand the ball to Elliott as a fullback. I think that gives them a little bit more of a puts them close to the line. Zeke's really good at attacking the line that way, and they've been very successful at doing that.
Yeah.
But I think the reason why you had success on offense was because of what those two did running the football. Okay, I mentioned we've talked about now some of the other guys in this thing. I think that when you watch the tape, I think Sam Williams played one of his best games as a Dallas Cowboy. And I say that because what happened was throughout the game, he was having to deal with, they were putting him as like a stand-up defensive end. So they had an idea of how they wanted to use him. But Sam did a great job of getting off blocks. He did a great job of when they were using the twist stunts, with the movement and things that require to come around a pick and then to get up the field. Sam did a really nice job of that when Micah was struggling with his injury, his health in that game. Sam Williams took his spot as that guy who, okay, we're going to stand you up, we're going to let you rush. He did a good job of playing the run as well. I thought he was really physical. It was a really complete game for him.
Yeah.
A guy you're not going to see in the box score very much, it played a good game, was Carlos Watkins, who got called up. He didn't have any tackles or anything like that, but the pressure and the power that he played at the point of attack held up and allowed others around him to have some success.
That's a fresh body vet right there, right?
He's a nice guy to be able to call up when you got an injury and, we got Carlos Watkins that's coming up off the practice squad.
He did a really, really nice job. The numbers are not going to say that, but when you watch the All-22, you will see how active he is on taking on blocks, forcing the run to go another way, actually getting some pressure when he had the opportunity in some passing situations. He looked like a different player out there, and I think it was one of his, when you start to talk about not having a lot of opportunities, he jumped in there and took really good advantage of that.
Yeah, speaks to the depth, once again, of the defense. I mean, just all over the place they have it. And to just chat about two of the guys that you've mentioned having really good games, and I know it's taken with a grain of salt. Pro Football Focus has Tony Pollard and Sam Williams as the two highest-graded players on the team for yesterday's game. So,
yeah.
and I love what they're doing in the running game, as you mentioned, like playing Zeke, do it with the fullback stuff, him and Pollard together. Here's Pollard playing in motion. Farniak's coming in, playing a little fullback. Did I see them do a split back situation as well?
At one point?
I'm like, I really enjoy it. And you know what's the other play that I really like? That the Niners kind of were the first ones to bust it out. Maybe it was last year or the year before, and not many teams do it. But it's that pitch play. It's a toss, but it's hitting the A or B gap.
Yeah,
and they're doing that now.
They cut it back up.
Like, shout out to Kellen Moore, man, getting some creativity in his rushing scheme.
Yeah, we've seen that with colleges do that now. That's a big thing is instead of taking the ball to the outside, you just attack the A or the B gap with the toss, but you get the toss going downhill, attacking the hole that way.
But the offensive line did a great job yesterday, and I liked the balance between Pollard and Zeke, and it wasn't like what they had been doing where it was one series is Zeke, one series is Pollard. They were rotating them in the same series, that final series of the game where they're trying to kill clock. It was both of them were getting in and out.
Yeah, we talked about – go ahead.
And it's just great that they can be patient with this approach because other than the big run, I did like the commitment to the running game because it protects your quarterback. It's going to limit mistakes. But the yards per attempt is highly skewed here at 4.8 because of the 57-yard run by Pollard.
Yeah, but
I think it's a commitment to it, but you got to have a little bit more success if you're going to win like that against good teams, don't you? Like the reason that it worked so well is because your defense was in the process of holding them to 10 points.
I think that the fact that you were able not to turn the ball over and you were able to run the ball, there were some plays that they left on the field. Clearly the one we talked about, the run they had for 9 yards that got called back. The drops by the wide receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't put the ball in a better spot than what CeeDee Lamb put that ball in there. And then the touch pass that went to Michael Gallup, I felt like he was closer to the sideline than he really, really was. But he comes back, he makes that huge play down the sidelines. Cooper Rush throwing the ball down. But they had some opportunities for some bigger plays. I just don't think that they took nearly enough advantage of that throwing. But they're in a situation, too, right now where they're not trying to screw up anything for the defense. Because you got guys like Dorrance Armstrong playing well. You can say what you want about Diggs. I think Diggs, when you watch him covering this game, the physicality he played in space when it came to tackling, getting off blocks, stepping up, that was something I think he's starting to hear that, hey, listen, you got to be willing to step up and make plays. Leighton Vander Esch was another one when you watch the All-22 that you're going to see a guy right there that, I feel like that the linebackers, Parsons, Vander Esch, they've got to figure out something about Barr. They've got it, whether it's put Curse down, Wilson, somebody's got to play down for Barr. I just don't feel like that he's given you enough in this game for a guy. I mean, he rushed him one time. They blitzed all the linebackers, able to get home, but he was the one guy that couldn't get home. So maybe we're seeing the end of Anthony Barr right here as a player. But I tell you what, I really do like what Leighton Vander Esch has done, especially in this football game. And I mentioned Diggs, the way he's covering the stuff across the field. That's a very difficult thing. The route that he has to carry is a great play by Cooper Kupp. They got caught in what they call man free. And so, with all those guys chasing receivers all over the field, they couldn't get somebody to get to the ball. So that was a little bit of a problem right there for him. But I thought overall Diggs played pretty well in this football game.